Hey gang, just a quick video today. I want to show you how I set up my MIDI controller, which is the Native Instruments Control-S Mark III. I want to show you how I set that up so that I can use the controls on here to control the macro knobs on both the Hydrasynth and the Leviasynth. What I'm going to show you should work with pretty much any MIDI controller and should work with other synthesizers as well, but any of the ASM synths for sure. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's go ahead and take a look. We'll start where we are in the DAW, and our first steps are in Bitwig. I'm in Bitwig. How you do this in other DAWs is going to be different. There should be some similar application, but again, I'm working in Bitwig today, and hopefully this will help you as well. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our controllers. If they're not already set up. To do that, we're going to go into the Bitwig menu here, click Settings and Controllers, and come down through the list. First off, we're going to make sure we at least see that our current controller is activated. It's turned on here with the switch, and I've got the Control-S Mark III. Next, we're going to find the Hydrasynth in the list. It should be showing up automatically as a controller. So if it's here and turned off, just click the power button here to turn it on. Let's go ahead and take that full screen so you can see a little better. And then we're going to open the cog. And this is going to give us a list of the remote control CCs. Okay. By default, this list will be blank. And this allows you to determine what the CCs are that we're going to be sending and receiving from receiving back anyway from the Leviasynth or the Hydrasynth. The values that we're going to put in here for these controls are in the manual, but they are 16 through 23. You just type them in there. And I'll show you real quick because it works the same way for both. I've done the same thing in the Leviasynth, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So those are filled in there, and that's all you need to do. You do not necessarily need to do any of these other controls. The other thing you want to check, your CC value mode. You have a drop down here that should be set to absolute. Okay, once that's done, you can close out of this menu, and we can go ahead and start the process of going ahead and putting this together. Like anything else in Bitwig, there's about a million ways to do something. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it. There may be a better way that I don't know about, entirely possible. But the first thing we're going to do in Bitwig, we're going to go ahead and add, and pardon me, I'm getting my notes together here so I do this right the first time. We're going to add an instrument track. And we've added the instrument track. On that instrument track, we're going to put a hardware instrument, or HW instrument. And we click OK. So we've got to go ahead and set that up so that our MIDI out is going to be going to our Hydrasynth. And in my case, that's all set up already and just shows up right here. And we might as well go ahead and get our audio back. So that's just finding my Hydrasynth. And I go ahead and turn MIDI clock on. You don't have to necessarily, but that's what I usually do at this point. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show the remote controls. So to do that, you just click this little button here in the lower left, towards the lower left of the HW instrument device. And that'll open this up. You can go ahead now and drop down this list where it says gain, drop this down and click add new page under preset pages. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to add a special kind of effect. It's called a note effects. So go ahead and click note effects here, and you'll get a little blue plus. If you click on that, we're going to add a MIDI CC, which is down here in the list. And that, you see, gives us a setup of 8 knobs and some values. Click OK, and we're going to need to go ahead now and set this up so that it aligns with those MIDI CC values that we have in the controller setup. So we're just going to scroll this up to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, oops, 22, and 23. And then double click in each of these boxes and just type in what the control is going to be. In this case, it's macro 1. You have to hit enter. If you just click on to the next one, it will you'll lose what you just typed. So bear with me while I type all this in. And I'm just putting in macro 1, macro 2 as I go through here. So macro 3. Actually, let's do this to save a couple of seconds. I'm just copying. So we'll go into the next one. Paste that in and then change that to a 4. Enter. Okay, so we've got all those named there. You'll see it also started to assign some color codes. This may come in handy later depending on your MIDI controller. So once we've done that, we've assigned all those CCs. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to assign those CCs, assign this to the knobs in the controller. In order to do that, we're going to come over here. We're going to tap this first blue connection icon. You'll see that it starts to flash, and anything that you could connect turns blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this first knob, and basically we just click our way across until all of the knobs are assigned. That part's done. Next thing, we may want to rename these controls here. Unfortunately, it doesn't just copy them over. So we'll just go ahead and do the same thing again. Again, you have to hit enter between each one or it won't save it. And the reason I'm doing all this naming like this will become clear in a moment. This will also, because this will affect not just this controller, but some other controllers as well. Okay, so that part's done. Once we've done that, the setup is basically done. At this point, you're going to go to up here to the device menu so that you don't have to do this every time you want to run your Hydrasynth. Drop this menu down here, click Save to Preset Library, and fill out the form. Click OK. I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again, but that's all there is to doing the setup. So let me show you what this looks like once it's actually, now that you've actually done it. I'm going to move a camera, and let's see. So what happens now, I'm going to do this one. So on my controller, you can see how I usually, this is my mixer setup. If I go to plug in on my controller or whatever it would be, that's interesting. Oh, I got the wrong thing selected. Select that. There we go. Ordinarily, this there it goes. Sends all the controls over once I selected the device. Let me show you real quick what I just did there. Basically, in order to get it activated, I just clicked here to make sure this was talking. That sent everything out to the controller, and so we had the names fill in here along here. So once this is set up, now that this is set up, if I turn a knob here, let's go ahead and flip the cameras. If I turn the knob here on the controller, you'll see that the lights light up around the ring on the Hydrasynth out here. So as I'm turning here, this guy's turning. The other thing that happens, the alternate is that as part of this setup, if I turn a knob here on the Hydrasynth, it also feeds back that information to my MIDI controller. This will also, like I said, work with, I know it also works with the Minilab 3, although you don't get the feedback quite the same way. So anyway, that's the short of it. That's how you would go ahead and set up a preset that allows you to control your Hydrasynth. And as I said, this also applies to the Leviasynth. It's exactly the same. You would just select that as your source of destination in the hardware instrument device. That's how you make it work. There is one thing that, as I mentioned, it does not do, and that is when you recall a preset on the Hydrasynth or the Leviasynth, either from the panel or using the little process that I showed in my previous video, it does not send the knob position back from the synthesizer to Bitwig, so Bitwig can update the knobs on the controller. So I'm going to be talking to ASM about that, see if there's any way that can be implemented in a future software update. So that's it for now. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you all later on.